Hello everyone, welcome back to Jamie's Bookshelf and welcome to vlog 2 of the Library Love Readathon. So now it is Sunday afternoon. I was going to start this vlog earlier today, but I've been very busy. I haven't read yet though today, so I guess that's all right. Last week I managed to read 12 books in 1 week because on Sunday I read 6 books in a day, and I will link my vlog for you if you'd like to check it out. Literally the first 20 minutes is all Sunday. It was quite a long reading day, but I read a lot of books and I really enjoyed what I was reading last week. So let's get into what I'm going to read this week. My main project for the beginning of this, which is today, is Murphy's Law. I am about 45 pages in, and it's like really short books, but I haven't really read it yet. It's really hard for me to read physical books. I don't know why, if it's maybe because I want the lights off and then I can read an ebook or something, but that's something I don't know why. Either way, I'm going to try to focus on this one today. I do need to prep for work next week. I work in a daycare, in case you don't know, and I have to do my themes for circle, which is fairy tales, which is very fun. Shouldn't be too much work, but at the same time, I do need to do some prep. So hopefully I can get that done quick and do all of this today. I should be able to, although right now it is currently 3:07, so who knows. I also have a stack of books right behind me, which are the rest of my library books. So I think I just dropped a bunch, but either way, I have still on DVD Midsummer Murders, which I haven't watched yet and I would like to. And I also have Hamlet on DVD, so I might watch that one as well. We'll see. I do really want to watch Midsummer Murders though. On ebook, I have Tarzan from the library. This is my own physical copy, and I pulled this from my jar of authors to try this month, so I really like to get to that as a library book. If not, that's okay, but this actually I found works really great for the non-traditional animal companion, as Tarzan has like gorilla companions, and I was like, that's a perfect fit. So I really would like to get to this one for that prompt. Then I also have The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. This one, by the way, is by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Yeah, that tilted the camera. I'm so sorry. Either way, this one is the one I'm going to read this month, or try to get through some more. This one is a very low priority for me. I just found it on the shelf when I was browsing, but I do have an audiobook of this that I own, so it's not top-notch priority for me. This would be like the last book I read this week if I get the time. I do really want to read it. I'm very interested. However, it's not like top of my list. One book that I am very interested in though is Murder in Old Bombay. This one is by Nev March. I actually can get an ebook of this one from my library, but I'd like to read it physically if I can, so I don't have too many ebooks out at the same time, to be honest. This book is a murder mystery set in India, and the author is from India. I believe the back book, the blurb of the author says they're from New Jersey, which sounds interesting. She lives in New Jersey, but this is the first book in a mystery series, and I've heard good things, so I really would like to try this one out and have some fun with it. And then I have my 2 Blackathon books, which this is going to be very top priority for this week. So The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Agaro, and this one is a romance set in Nigeria. I will probably try picking this one up today, as I'm feeling like easy reads right now, and this would probably be an easy read. At least I'm hoping it will be, and I would really like to get to my Blackathon books. I was really wanting to last week. I just didn't have the time or the energy. Honestly, last week was so hectic in the evenings. I had something every single night after work, and I work in like an 8-hour day till 5:30, and then I was busy every single night, whether it be Zoom meetings or a book club or whatever, something every single night. So didn't have time, but I would really like to get to this one. And I noticed last week it has a Canadian flag, so the author's Canadian, so I'm wondering if she is Canadian, the woman of this. So her name is Haley, and I'm excited to try this. I mean, I know that her father's Nigerian, so I'm wondering if she lives in Canada when she moves or goes to Nigeria. I don't know. I'm excited. And then my other one is Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, which has chronic pain representation or chronic illness representation. And this one's by Jane Allen. So very excited to try this one. I don't know much else. I just know that suddenly the main character in this one has, so Tabitha suddenly becomes ill with an unexpected diagnosis and has a chronic illness. And I am very excited to read this and check out another book that has chronic illness representation and support the Blackathon readathon with these two books. So this book will probably be done today if I can find the time. And this book I'm really going to prioritize this week. I also forgot to grab it, but I'm reading The Spanish Promise this week with Emily from Novella Novels. And I forgot to start it yesterday. I was just really busy trying to catch up from my week of doing nothing at home. And so I didn't have time to start it, but I will be reading that this week with Emily, and hopefully I can get into it. I haven't started it yet, so I don't know what exactly it's about. I know brief stuff, but I'm not going to really get into it because I don't really want to be spoiled. So we'll see how that one goes. And that's not a library book, but it will be a book I'm reading. And other than that, I don't have any other plans. So yeah, a lot of library books, and I have some ebooks that I'm on the way with. I am about 40% into The Sign of Death by Cali Hutton, and I'm really enjoying it. And aside from that, I am also reading the audiobook of Mr. Monday by Garth Nix, and I'm about 6% into that, but I will be trying to make a lot of progress in that this week. So there's that as well. Otherwise, I am not reading anything extra, and I know it seems like a lot of books, but for me, I'm hoping I can really get into this, as this week seems like I have a lot more time, and I'm hoping that that will be quite a good plan. Anyways, I will see you when I've done some more reading, and hopefully I'll have some books done from this pile. Hello, it is Tuesday afternoon. I am on my lunch break. I just finished The Sweetest Remedy, and I really enjoyed it. I think I might be giving it a 4-star. It's really, really cute. It's about a little girl named Hannah, or a woman named Hannah, who basically gets told that her father has passed away. She's known him a couple times, or met him a couple times, but basically, or once, I should say. But basically, that's all he's ever done, or given her money, and that's it. And now she's been told that he's passed away, and she is going home to Nigeria to meet the family, essentially. That's kind of the premise of the book. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed learning about the Nigerian culture and the Nigerian levels of there, or the different poverty levels that I talked about, and different ways it worked. My sister-in-law is actually Nigerian, so that was really interesting also for me at an extra personal level. So I thought that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed just the story level, and I also really enjoyed the author's note at the end talking about her own experience going back to Nigeria after 17 years. So how that kind of inspired this book. Thoroughly enjoyed, and yeah, I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was really interesting, and I flew through it. It was a really fast romance, and I had a lot more depth to it than just a romance. So I am, yeah, giving it 4 stars. I'm also currently reading The Spanish Promise by Swann. It's not really hooking me. I meant to read 50 pages yesterday, and I forgot, but I am on page 101 or 102. So I'm gonna try to read more of that right now on my lunch break. So there's that. And then I have not been reading anything else this week. I've mostly been listening to music, which is kind of what I want to do, but I need to get back into my audiobook. And I've also been doing my Bible study book, so I need to finish off my last day's worth of Bible study for that today, and then I'm going to Bible study tonight. So I should have time to read in between work and Bible study. But yeah, I hopefully will get my reading done tonight and finally finished that one, and I've been reading it as an ebook since I found a library copy of that. So that's good. And I have a few days left of my ebook of The Sign of Death, so I might just pick up that one as well today. But I was really wanting to get through The Sweetest Remedy, and I'm very happy that I finished it. So that's a quick update for you. I know it's a couple of days later than expected, but oh, I also finished Murphy's Law. I don't think I updated you on that. So Murphy's Law, I'm giving 4 stars as well. It was interesting. It was very good. I don't know where exactly I'd place it as a mystery. It was a mystery, but it basically follows Molly Murphy, who commits like a crime in self-defense at the very beginning. That's not hiding any facts. And then she tries to escape, to flee from being convicted of crime. And then when she gets on the boat, then some things happen, and then she's the main suspect in another crime. And I enjoyed how it played out. I didn't love every single thing, but I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of it. And I don't know how much of it I would say you were guessing, but I enjoyed how it went. I really enjoyed all the different elements. I don't think there was enough for me to guess the whodunit, but I don't think I really needed to for this kind of book, so I'm happy with that. I'm excited to read book 2 next month. So yeah, it was a good one as well. I feel like last week I was so busy. You didn't see it, but I was going from work to something every single night, and my body just like slowly, it went to the point of no return. And then Saturday was just a crash day. Physically, emotionally, and mentally, I was at my breaking point. And so this week I am slowly recovering. So Sunday, it was also like Saturday I had plans, and then I didn't end up going for dinner with my aunt and my brother and sister-in-law, or my sister and brother-in-law and my uncle. But on Sunday I had a jam-packed day as well. So, or enough of a day that I was like overwhelmed. And then tonight I have something, and I'm kind of trying to catch up physically to the point where I'm okay again. So I feel like reading is something that is not a high priority. It's more like something I can do if I'm okay enough to continue. So early nights are more of a priority, resting is more of a priority, and I'm okay with that. I think also reading 12 books in a week did not help. So I don't know how to balance that right now with my life, but I'm happy to keep reading when it's okay for me physically. And right now I'm going to try reading The Spanish Promise, and then I will be happy to do what I can for the upcoming week. Tomorrow night I have no plans. Thursday I'm planning on going to the movie of Death on the Nile with my aunt, and that will be really fun. I really want to go to it with her. I think I should be able to. And then Friday, I don't think I have any plans, so I'm having a more low-key week, which is really good. But anyways, that's my little life update / reading update / whatever you want to call it. I will check in hopefully later today with more reading update news. Look at the sky. I can see the sun when I'm leaving work. That has not happened in a long time. Anyways, I'm gonna head home and I'll update you on reading. So it is now Wednesday night, and as you saw, it is finally getting bright outside, which is wonderful to see. I work until 5:30, and so it's normally been dark out like at 4 o'clock, but now it's finally getting brighter, which is really exciting. Anyways, I had to share that with you guys because I was like, this is the best. Whatever. So last night, after I told you guys, well, I guess yesterday I told you about all that on my break. So I finished The Sweetest Remedy, which I really enjoyed, thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't remember what else I told you about, but I mean, you just saw that. However, since then I have finished The Sign of Death by Cali Hutton, and I am giving that one a 4-star too. It was really great. I really enjoyed it. It's like a cozy mystery series in the Victorian era. Amy, who is an author, but she is under a pseudonym, as her father and brother do not want her to be a well-known author at all. Actually, her father's the one who knows that she is, in fact, an author, aside from a few select friends and her aunt. She is very much a popular author, and she's part of a mystery book club, and they have sometimes read her books. And so it is very interesting to read about her and her friends. And in the first book, she is suspected of murdering her fiance, or her family's choice of a fiance for her. It is a very fun book in that one, and this is book 2 in the series. Really enjoyed it. I don't know how much I can say without spoiling it, but there's another death, and she is involved in investigating again. Really enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy the dynamic of Amy and William, who is her friend. He is a lord, and there is tension. And I really enjoyed how the story flowed. I didn't think it was dragged out too much. The pace of the mystery was well done, and I really enjoyed how everything worked out. It still tricked me a little. I'm more so to read it for the enjoyment level and how they keep me going, and I was smiling for most of the book, so I really enjoyed that. After that, though, I have picked up my library copy of Tarzan of the Apes. This one is by Edgar Rice Burroughs. So I am 82 pages in according to my physical book, and I'm about probably 100 pages of my ebook. So I have 150 pages left in this copy, and I am enjoying it so far. It's interesting because I'm trying to read it with a very open mind, considering one, that it is written from a white man's perspective, and two, that was written in like early 1900. So I think it was written in like 1912 or 1914. So it's very early then. So we have to try and keep in our mind. I'm trying to keep my mindset of that, where they did not have the greatest ideas, and trying to remember that. There is some talk of racial injustice, and they do use not great terms to talk about people of color in this book, Black people. They are not the worst terms, but they are not great. I don't know how to say that without being politically awful. I'm so sorry. This is why I feel so uncomfortable about this. So the book starts off with Tarzan's parents, who are on a boat, and the captain is an awful person, and he ends up being essentially mutinied by his crew, and the crew are all Africans, and they take over. And that is where the racial tension kind of is, at least at the beginning. And those where like the terms are used. And then one of them, the one who steps up to be the new captain, found that Tarzan's father was very protective and tried to save their lives. So he is trying to save their lives in return by putting them off onto the coast and sending help later. So he drops them off, and then of course Tarzan is born on shore. It is an interesting storyline because here comes my dilemma, and I feel like I'm dragging my feet about this. My dilemma comes where the book is by someone who has prejudices. We all have prejudices. It's part of being human, and we all have to work through those prejudices. However, if you take into account where the book is set, who wrote the book, and when he lived, there are extra prejudices to talk about. And then the book is about a boy who grows up raised by animals, by apes specifically, so he has no inset prejudices. He shouldn't, because of that. He shouldn't have any prejudices against people of color. He shouldn't have any of those prejudices because of who raised him. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when he discovers certain learning techniques, those books describe people as white people versus Black people, and that kind of prejudice as well. So it's very hard for me to figure out how this book is, and I'm like, it's interesting. It's a very interesting way to wrap my head around, this way of, being raised with a prejudice, but also this book is fictionalized, and so the person who wrote it has prejudice, and that's going to come into play. I do enjoy the book so far. I am enjoying what's talking about with Tarzan, growing up with the apes, and all of that stuff happening. I am now at a point where he's interacting with humans, and those humans are African, because he is on the continent of Africa, I believe. So that's where the prejudice is coming in now again. So I'm like, anyways, I'm thinking about it. It is really difficult to explain why. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, why this is such a confusing matter to me, and why it's kind of important for this book because of the setup of the main character. Why our main character should have no prejudice, but why he can't use that prejudice completely. I don't know. That's my point. Anyways, so I'm reading that. I have not done anything more. I did continue into Mr. Monday. I'm not finished much more, but I am now about 10% in, and I'm going to keep listening. And maybe I think I'm 15% in. So I am pretty good about that. I am enjoying it, and I will continue listening Tonight's my first night off in a while, complete night off in a while, and I am just going to crash. That's my plan, and I am very happy with my plan. So I'm not going to crash completely, but I am hoping to read more of Tarzan, but I also might save that ebook for the rest of the week, as I do have that, and I also have other ebooks, but if I can just save that ebook for my like break time or when I have spare time and I can just do that around those moments, that'll be great. I do have Black Girls Must Die exhausted by Jane Allen, so I might read this one physically, or Murder in Old Bombay. So one of those two I will be picking up hopefully tonight, and if not, we'll see what else I do. So just that's my quick update and my thoughts on Tarzan. So there we go. So it is about 8:30 at night now. I have finished reading Tarzan. I am not a huge fan of it. I'm going to make a video about my thoughts. I was trying to make him a video or a clip about this one just for this, and it's ending up being like 10 minutes long, so I'm not going to do that to you. But overall, the adventure part of it gets a 4 out of 5 stars for me. And then the other elements are getting like a 2. So I think I'm giving this a 3-star overall. I don't know if I'm going to read on, and I think I might just be getting rid of this book, unfortunately. I need to think on it, but I did finish Tarzan of the Apes by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I thought it had interesting points. However, I don't know if I would recommend it, which is sad. So I finished this tonight, and I have just honestly been very tired and very lethargic almost. I had a really, I'm sure I've talked about this, but I had a really difficult week last week health-wise. So this week I've been really enjoying my time off, and this evening has been really good for me. So I'm happy with that. And I'm not sure what I'll pick up next ebook wise. I do have an audiobook of C.S. Lewis's The Great Divorce that I might listen to, and I might listen to that one tonight. Otherwise, I might just, I don't know. I'm struggling right now with having the lights on, so I might get an ebook of Murder in Old Bombay as well. I have access to that, so I might do that too, and we'll see. But yeah, that's my plans for tonight. I just wanted to say I did this, and I was going to make a talk about this, but I'm just going to make an individual video about this book. So yeah, there we go. And we'll check in tomorrow, maybe at the movies. Maybe you'll be able to come with me a little bit. Not like you're going to watch the movies with me, but anyways. Hello, it is now Saturday afternoon. I just went and spent some time with my sister. It's her birthday today. Anyways, it was fun. And then I did some book picking up or book shopping. I picked up a book of fairy tales for work, and just beautiful fairy tales from all over the world. I reviewed it on my channel last year. So some wonderful stories and illustrations and pictures from literally all parts of the world. So wonderful. Then I also picked up my copy of The Dark Queens by Shelley Puack. This one I had pre-ordered, and it came early. It will be out on the 22nd, so you should check this one out. I thoroughly loved it. I expect it to be on my favorites list of the year this year. Such a good nonfiction about the dark ages before the medieval world, or during that early era, and I loved this one so much. I also picked up a stack of Mary Roberts Reinhardt and Agatha Christie as I was doing that. So here they are, a bunch of them. I picked up the Regatta Mystery, which has a bunch of short stories, because I don't think I have any of these Parker Pine books, and I know I have Almost Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot, but none of the Parker Pines. Then I had The Breaking Point by Mary Roberts Steinhardt. I wanted to pick this one up because of the March Mystery Madness read-along hosted by Janelle from Too Fond of Books. So I wanted to pick up this one. That's purposely why I went to the bookstore and then spent too much money. I also picked up The Yellow Room because I have an idea for March Mystery Madness. Then After the Funeral, this cover looks interesting. I don't think I own this one either, and I do need it to read eventually. and then A Pocket Full of Rye, which I don't own, and this is on my to-buy list. Left, I have a few more. I have 13 at Dinner, which I believe is another name for Sparkling Cyanide, or no, Lord Edgar Dies. I believe this is another title for Lord Edgar Dies, and I loved the cover and how it goes all the way around, and I really love Lord Edgar Dies, so I wanted to pick this up. Then I also grabbed another cover of The Big Four, as my copy is actually not working, it's broken, so I need a new copy anyways, and I like that cover, the bright red. I also picked up Towards Zero, as it has a gorgeous cover, and I think I'm going to really enjoy this one. It's the Superintendent Battle one, and I really wanted to grab this edition, even though I own another one. The last two were this one, so Episode of The Wandering Knife by Mary Roberts Reinhardt. It looks such an interesting, I don't know, it looks like such an interesting design of a cover, and it just grabbed my eye. The titles also sounds fascinating, but the cover definitely cover by. Also, I know I love the author. And then this one, Murder Mesopotamia. It's a Dell edition, and it has a map on the back, and I really wanted to pick this one up because of that. I love the book, but I wanted the edition. I also grabbed Lucrezia Borgia, which is by Maria Bellonci, as I just finished The Borgias by Alexander Dumas, and I think I told you about that. So we're good about that. So I have finished The Borgias and really enjoyed it. And I'm giving that one a 4-star. I can't remember if I told you the rating. And if I haven't talked about that yet, and as I'm editing, I will catch myself and tell you about it at the end. If not, you already know the answer. But I had finished this morning The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. I got an audiobook from the library of that. It's a lot smaller of a file than my big audiobook from Audible. So I did technically listen to a library edition, and really good. Gave it 4 stars. Probably would give it 5 stars if it wasn't for my mind format right now. And it was a really interesting look at life and death, or heaven and hell, and very theological, very interesting. Definitely took my audiobook spot because I think in my dazed sleep state last night, I somehow deleted Mr. Monday from my account. Like I returned it to the library. I don't know why. I don't know why at all. So I put the physical book on hold, and I will get back to it when I get the book back. Otherwise, I have figured out my TBR clue, and you'll figure that out when you see it. Or you'll see it, I guess, when I do my TBR clue for next month. But all that's to say, I have finished The Great Divorce and really enjoyed it. And next will be, I don't know what else, but yeah, long update, long little book haul for you, and a little bit more reading maybe today, and that's it for my weekly plans. And the last day of the Library Love Readathon, I will take a quick picture of my little buju, my bullet journal, to show you that all the prompts are completed with all the books I've read. I do still want to read Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, but I still have a few more days left, and Monday is a stat, so I plan on doing a lot of reading then, and I might just read it then, even though it's not for the Library Love Readathon. So that's okay. I'll still get it done, as I'm highly anticipating it, and I just haven't found the time or the energy, which is interesting compared to the title. So that's my plan for next week. But I have officially completed all the prompts now, and it's very exciting. So we'll see if I read anything more today, or if I just edit videos, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you about those things and let you know that we are officially completed all the prompts. So it is now the end of this reading vlog. I realized while editing that I did not tell you about 2 books that I was reading. So book number 1 that I read was The Borgias by Alexander Dumas. So I picked this one because it was translated from the French, and also because it is a true crime book where many relationships end in death. So this knocked off 2 of the prompts, the only 2 prompts I didn't have a spot for yet. So this one worked out well, and it talked about poison, so it did that job too. But Tarzan also hit that brief, and I was pretty happy with that. So in The Borgias, it's one of Alexander Dumas' early works, I believe. I believe it was published in like 1839, if I remember the date right. And it was the first in his series of 3 books about crime. I remember the last one was about Mary and Queen of Scots, but I don't remember what the second one was about. So I'm interested to read more though. Alexander Dumas is someone who I've had a hit and miss relationship with writing at least. I've always enjoyed the idea, but never completely loved the writing, at least of the Three Musketeers. So in this one, I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit dry in some parts, but I really enjoyed the overall story. And I also enjoyed that even though it's a little bit hard to tell what is fact and what is fiction, he did a pretty good job of telling us what is assumed and what is factual or what he could research or something like that. But then again, this is from the 1800s and I can't fact check myself. So there was no footnote section. What can I say? I enjoyed it though, and I did give it 4 stars. So that was another nonfiction that I read this month. Then I also read, I brought the book over here. 1 second, it was right behind me. One of the novellas from this book called If Only. It's by Tracy Peterson. I was just like needing something to reread last night, and I had this story on my mind. I have kept a lot of these novella bind-ups from a long time ago that I've read and reread many of these bind-ups, and I want to reread If Only. And If Only is about, it's a pretty long novella. It's about maybe 100 pages in this one. And it talks about Mary, who is in the 14th century, and she's the daughter of a physician who is being basically, I don't know, he's stoned or burned. She doesn't really know which, but he is killed because he's trying to solve the plague and try to solve it and try to find a cure. When that doesn't happen, she runs away with all of the medicine that she can carry, and eventually she ends up meeting some children. And there's also Peter, who is a knight in the king's army, and he is also on the hunt, basically trying to get numbers for the king. All the Black Plague, or was it the Italian Plague, whatever they called it, the numbers of that death total, and bring it back to the king. He meets a young boy named Gideon, and they kind of become a little pair, and then Mary comes into a pair with a little baby, and then they meet and they end up traveling together. It's a romance. I really enjoyed rereading it, and I gave it 4 stars as its own individual novella, and I really enjoyed reading this one. I might reread the whole bind-up, but at least the individual novella I did reread. And then I also picked up The Great Divorce, which I kind of mentioned, but I didn't really. I want to pick up The Great Divorce because I pulled, let's see, this jar. I pulled out C.S. Lewis from this jar, and I want to pick up more of his work, so I picked up this one. I also have The Abolition of Man from that same loan, so I am listening to that one right now. And funnily enough, Alexander Dumas is also from this jar, so this week I am knocking off 3 authors from this jar as well, so just the way it is. But I enjoyed The Great Divorce. It was very interesting, very thought-provoking, and I really enjoyed it. So there's that as well. And overall, I finished all 30 prompts for the Library Love Readathon, and I definitely accomplished that, even though I did move some around. I will show you in my bullet journal. Before we do that though, I do want to catch you up on the Spanish promise. I actually have DNF'd this one, but I keep forgetting to message Emily, so I will message you, Emily. I'm so sorry. I just could not sink my teeth into this one, and my migraines just would not let me read something that I was not fully invested in. So unfortunately, I did not read this one. So I will message you, Emily, I promise. Now that I have it on video, I have to. So bullet journal. I marked off every prompt that I had read, and I have it all here. As you can see, they're all marked off now, and I read a lot of pages. I will put it down here on the screen how many pages I read this week. I only finished 7 books, and I'm saying only as, not as a joke, but like I finished 7 books this week, which is really great. But I was thinking this week, wow, I haven't finished many books. And I was comparing myself to last week, which is a joke. Last week I did too much. This week I needed to take it slower and read only 7 books. And some of them are a bit bigger, so I need to stop being mean to myself. Anyways, let's try it this way. So for retelling, I read Sleepy Hollow. For a beautiful cover, I read Good Girl, Bad Blood. I love that cover. For a quest at the library, I read Game of Thrones. For a non-traditional companion, I read Tarzan. For a cat or dog on the cover, I read The Sign of Death. For an animal on a mystery cover, I read Sign of Death. Food or drink theme was Helen Keller's book. A hobby, I also put Sign of Death because she goes to book club, and I go to book club a lot. Famous person was Helen Keller's biography. True crime was The Borgias. 2 people on the cover was Sweetest Remedy. Poison, I did put Good Girl, Bad Blood, as it talks about drugging people, but this one definitely was fulfilled by Tarzan and by The Borgias as well. Warm drink, I put here Sweetest Remedy, I believe, as that one had a lot of sweet tea and drinks like that, and talked a lot about food actually in the Nigerian culture. New, trying something new was Never Let Me Go, which was a different kind of genre for me, kind of dystopian, kind of sci-fi. Over 500 pages, I put Pioneer Girl, my own library, but it felt like a 800-page book. Book with a map was Frontier the Frontier book, which is about Laura Ingalls Wilder. A series book was Hooked on You. A dialect one was Murphy's Law. Translated was The Borgias. A book about language was Good Girls, Bad Blood, which is about a podcast. Or Sign Language, which is Helen Keller. Bookish title was Laura Ingalls, which is the book about the Pine Little Girls, or Little House in the Big Woods, or the Little House on the Prairie books, whatever that title was. Then it's New Arrivals. I actually found out that Hurricane Heroes was on the New Arrivals of my ebooks app. Then for this one, which is Period Costume on the cover, which is Murphy's Law. Then Travel or Journey in the theme, which was Laura Ingalls Wilder books. Then I had Sun on the cover, which was Tarzan in my audiobook edition, or my ebook edition, I should say. Different Country was Laura Ingalls Wilder, but honestly, all of the books that I read this month were. Graphic novel was Nancy Drew. Audiobook was The Great Divorce. And watching a show was Murder on the Orient Express, or movie, I should say. So that was my bullet journal. I still have to read a few things, but not too bad, and I am happy with all that I have read. So I did return all my books to the library that I am finished with, but I am so excited that I finished all the prompts and that I was managing to read 14 books in 14 days for the 30 prompts, which I think is pretty incredible. And I have actually read 21 books so far this month. And some of those books weren't for Library Love Readathon, so I'm pretty happy with those numbers. And I am very excited to continue on reading for the month, even though I have a very specific TBR now for the rest of the month. But that'll be fine. I am very excited for my reading after the Sunday, and I have a stat, so I'm happy about that for Family Day. But yes, that is my reading vlog for this fun readathon all about the library. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down below in the comments what you've been reading for the Library Love Readathon. If you read from your own library, your personal library, or from your city library, whatever you read, I'd love to hear about it down below in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know if you'd like me to do more vlogs more regularly. I do enjoy them, but I don't do them regularly, so please let me know what you think I should do. Anyways, I'd love to chat down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.